Good evening, or I should say good night here in the Netherlands already. It is time for another market update. I did one around a week ago now, so it's time for another one. A lot happened since, and I've been collecting some very interesting charts that I want to showcase you. If you are holding altcoins, I think this is one for you. So definitely stay tuned and take a look at my perspective here on where we're going with the market. I collected some very interesting charts. This time, we're not going to be looking really at specific altcoins itself. I really want to taking a look at some other charts that display more of the global market and where we can get a better direction point of view from. Right, so let's dive into it straight away. First of all, very important one is the Bitcoin dominance. This is a display, of course. Is the money going towards Bitcoin or going towards altcoins? And what we have seen is we have seen a very long upward trend. We've been all the way since 2022 already, since we had a bottoming formation here during the bear market. And since then, Bitcoin basically has been outperforming almost all of the altcoins and altcoin market in general. Yeah, by a long shot. So since then, everybody was calling and calling. Okay, this is the top. This must be the top. First, of course, we had in December last year, which was a very good year, especially yeah with certain altcoins. But we had a great run here. As you can see, this is only this small little dump of dominance, and this is what that yeah can actually do. And since then, yeah, it has not been so good for altcoins. We have been going all the way up until June, but after that, we finally had some downward movement again. And now what we're looking at is it something consistent, or was this just a dump before getting high again? Well, we see this upward trend line, and since we broke down, we had a retest here, kind of. This was an area of support, I mean, and here is where this liquidation event happened. Everybody knows the massive liquidation event, and there's where we had this sort of a retest, you could call it. Now we're trending down again. So it's going to be very interesting to see if we're hitting this area and if we go below this time. That's a very good confirmation that we're actually, yeah, this was a lower high. It already looks like a lower high, of course. But once we start breaking below here, yeah, then you're making a lower low again. And it means, yeah, simply it looks like the trend is downwards now, which would be very good for altcoins. So keep an eye on this level. We're likely going to retest this again. And then you want to be watching this. To me, it looks like, yeah, the top is in. Very likely that yeah, we had the worst already. But this is the area of interest you want to be looking at. Once we break this, yeah, there's a lot more downside to go, and eventually, this is the first key level, and of course, this is a major level. And if you have Bitcoin at the current prices, yeah, that it simply means also going to run massively. So important chart to keep an eye on this dominance. All right. Then, like I said, I collected some interesting charts here, not of altcoins or Bitcoin itself, but I wanted to be looking at the total market cap. So first we have the others market cap here, and we want to be yeah looking at what's the current trajectory. I want to look at a longer time frame actually, and what we're seeing now is this is since 2022. We've here been in an uptrend. So you see these two touches, and basically, yeah, we hit this area again. We've always been above it. Of course, this liquidation wick, yeah, this was just 1 week, and we quickly went above this. So this is, I would say, is a very important level going to be holding. Actually, should do it a bit, yeah, like this on the daily. I want to keep this close as okay, somewhat like this. So you would say that yeah, for the others, this is altcoins outside the top 10. the trend, upwards trend is still holding. And if we're taking a look at the lower time frame here, still on the daily, of course, but a bit more zoomed in. Yeah, this is what we see. So this is the main area we'll take a look at. So you want to be clearing this area. Then that means you also start to move above these moving averages, and then yeah, the trend will be upwards again. So we are maintaining somewhat of an upwards trend. You could also say that, yeah, in a way, if you look at this, this is also, yeah, a strong trend line, might be even stronger. So this is an important area to really start reclaiming here. So I added this here. You can see how many touches this has. We don't want to do any biases in favor of the bulls here. Yeah, we're keeping this one here. So it's going to be interesting to see if we clear this. Okay, that's it for others. Then let's see another exotic chart. We have others dominance. So this is the dominance of, yeah, basically the altcoins or crypto outside the top 10. And you can see here, yeah, we're in a downtrend for quite some time. This is actually since 2022. This chart I don't see too much interesting except for this level. Let me draw it quite quickly. So this is a very interesting level. There's another chart. I actually have the same area here. So this is a very important liquidity area. You see these wicks here. You see this area of touches, and we went all the way down again since we haven't been here since 2020. That means that yeah, altcoins actually have not been performing so poorly against the rest of the market since 2020, which is quite interesting. After the bull run here, 2021, and this wick here, we've been going downwards. But yeah, you can see we now touch this area. It is a very interesting area. When we touched here before, you can see these big spikes up again. Of course, we had this initial spike, but it's going to be very interesting to what we're doing now. This is in general, this is a bullish pattern. So this downward sloping wedges like this, they usually break out to the upside. And yeah, imagine going back to the highs. This is 20%. So this might look like, okay, yeah, that's just a nice pump. But it actually means that, yeah, the, altcoins go 3x in compared to the dominance that they're having right now. So that will be very interesting. Here we have others versus Bitcoin. So this is quite similar as the chart before, but this is directly versus Bitcoin. So this is altcoins outside the top 10 in performance against Bitcoin. And of course, we see, yeah, almost the similar track here again. We see this area that we've now touched. So you can see this as the sort of a capitulation wick, which happened here in 2020 before we had a massive surge in altcoins. And also here you see very clearly this downward wedge. You see also this upward sloping trend line. And yeah, this actually looks quite good to me. This is a very important chart to be looking at because we want to see the shift towards altcoins. That's where everybody is waiting for. And here's where you want to be seeing movement. So to me, this really looks like, yeah, we're still in an uptrend. This is still keeping, yeah, the patterns here. So there's no need to, yeah, I wouldn't be too worried if you look at this on the higher time frames. This looks actually quite good. So then total, of course, very important to always watch this. This is everything in once combined into one chart. So this is what I always take a look at. Um, as you know, if you see my videos, I like to zoom out and take a look at charts like this to see, yeah, where we're at right now. And here I see a very important longer time frame trend line, upwards trend line, and we are keeping that still. So we're still, yeah, we're still that trend is still intact. Also, an important area was this area. Was in March. This was in 2024. This long time frame, and we stayed above it. So as you can see, there was this quick wick where we actually touched it perfectly, which is always quite interesting. The massive liquidation event exactly to the date of this total cap area, and we've bounced quite good since then. So again, this all looks good. So when you open X right now, all you see, or mostly, I see a lot of doom and gloom. People calling for bear markets. Mostly, they look a lot of Bitcoin itself, and they don't really look at caps like these, and not really on the higher time frame. So a lot of people calling for bear markets actually, which makes sense if you look at the fear and greed index. It's one of the lowest areas. I believe it's at 16 today. So there's a massive fear in the markets, and this is usually fears, of course, the time you actually want to be buying, and you don't want to listen to the people who are talking about fear. I'm drifting off, but I was speaking about total, and it looks good. We're maintaining structure, and then rightly so, we're at quite an important level here. So this support level now became resistance. You already see here. Once we broke out here, we retested it twice in these wicks, and then we went below. And now we're actually at this level here. As you can see, the 4-hour stock RSI is overbought. So good chance on the shorter time frame. So if you're a bit lower time frame trader, this is a good chance we don't hit this at once. So likely we go down a little bit. Ideally, we hit this level and then we go. So that will be good to see, but unlikely to go through it directly. I wouldn't be worried if we see a little bit of a retrace here. Then total 2, this is with ETH, of course, this is everything excluding Bitcoin. This chart I find not too interesting at the moment. Or let's see, actually, this was you could call this the retest here, actually, which is quite interesting. So we retested this quite perfectly. Yeah, so this was all the way from 2024. And we hit it twice here. And now we're actually above this area. So this is a very important area as well. You can see here in all the way in March and February here. It's been quite some touches here, and we're above this now. So that's all looking good. Also, if we're zooming in a little bit, we see here we broke out here as well. So actually, this total 2. So this will be the focus more on ETH. Is also looking very good actually. So keep an eye on this. If we start moving and start clearing these moving averages, which would be further confirmation that we will turn bullish. Of course, then we had this big block here, and this is where the resistance comes in again. So we have quite some room here to grow for total 2, I would say. Then total 3, same thing here. This is everything excluding Bitcoin and ETH. And the same thing here. We're still holding this long-term support level. This actually looks like we had a long downtrend. And this looks like a double bottom here to me, with quite an impulse. Double bottoms can be very strong. And now we're at a key area. So just with total, also for total 3, we're at a very key area. And there's a good chance you're going to see a little retrace here. Usually you don't hit it at the first go. You need some steam, building some pressure, and then you go up. Let's see. I found this another, quite exotic chart. So this is the total market cap, including BTC ETH and the stable coin. So this is just Total tree. The problem is that total tree includes the stable coins as well, and ideally you want to be, yeah. There's more and more stable coins, so it's not. It can be a little bit unreliable. So that's why I included this and found this one as well. And yeah, I just looked at the higher time frame, and then it's very interesting. What we see, we're respecting this trend perfectly, and actually we've been hitting this resistance. This is massive resistance. We've been hitting this a lot. First in 2021, and so yeah, and then alts hit actually the same level as in 2021. So we haven't been above the 2021 level for altcoins, which is actually quite interesting. So a lot of people are calling for the bull market is finished, but that would mean that, yeah, then you're basically saying, okay, so we didn't get a higher level in altcoins than the previous bull market. Of course, it's possible, but yeah, it's very interesting if you bring it like that. Besides that, it's a little bit besides the point of the video, but we also have not hit any of the 30 yeah, top signals for Bitcoin. So there's a lot of indicators, and I made a list of like 30, or I believe there was one that's hit, but yeah, which is quite interesting. This is the ratio total market cap excluding BTC, ETH, and stablecoins to Bitcoin. Okay, so this can be quite confusing if you don't chart like this normally. But yeah, you just have to watch these patterns here and see what it means. So basically, what it means, if we break above here, then altcoins start to outperform again. This one is very important as well. USDT dominance. So this very simply means USDT dominance drops. There's less money in USDT, and that basically means there's more money going towards altcoins and Bitcoin. Of course, unless yeah, there's some massive event with Tether that all of a sudden yeah, something goes wrong there, but that's very unlikely. You can just basically reason this chart as money going towards the market or not. And it's also very interesting that we hit also exactly this level here. So this is strong resistance. We hit this, we wicked above, we didn't close. So that's also another sign that that there's more downwards in here for USDT, and that would mean basically that there's more money going towards crypto projects. Then we have ETH versus BTC. This chart, there's not too much to say about it. This will be the key level of interest which we want to break, and then we can target the highs again. But for now, yeah, we have of course we had this impulse move, and now it's a matter of what are we going to be doing here. Actually, if I want to zoom in a little bit here, so we had this impulse move. It's normal that we retrace here at the key resistance. This was actually a very good level to rotate out of ETH again and altcoins in general. And since then, we've been in a downtrend. And right now, we're actually breaking this, as you can see. So it's another sign that there's more time for ETH and altcoins upcoming. So I just showed you some charts, some very interesting charts that display the total market from a higher time frame. And yeah, if you look at this in a non-biased way, it's very hard to be bearish here actually. So I stay with my conviction that there's going to be more money rotating to altcoins quite soon. I'm going over a few expos that I've collected here, and then we're going to round up the video. So stay tuned with me. I collected some reliable X analysts here, and here is I charted this chart as well. I showed you this as well. This is altcoins versus Bitcoin, and this is a very this interesting area. You see here the alt season here started end of 2020. DeFi season we had 2017 alt season, and we went all the way back And usually, the reversal of a trend starts with an actual capitulation. So that's another sign that that we've been to probably to the worst. Chart looks very good. Also, of course, this falling wedge again, which mostly looks to break out to the upside. He's showing BTC versus ETH here, which is very interesting. Important moving average here, which we broke above, and now we're having sort of a retest here. Then another altcoins exploding versus Bitcoin, and he audit the quantitative tightening periods here. So we have QT lifted, and actually we had QT lifted right now. So that's something else very important. So that means that there's very likely to be going, that more liquidity is coming to the markets, to the global markets, and this will be coming to the crypto markets as well. So very interesting to see that these markets move on global liquidity. That's the main factor that always moving the markets, and it's not the 4 year cycles as most people, look for. Because if we talk about the 4 year cycles, that means that we're basically at the end right now or close to the end. And do not believe that this is the cause right now. So first, others versus Bitcoin. He has here, I think he's talking about the cross here on the stochastic RSI. And this is also a very interesting one to watch out on the higher time frames. Then we have Gem Miner XBT shout out, and he's also talking about this retest that I showed you here on ETH-BTC. So he's showing here the same thing that I just opened here on the chart. As you can see, we had this wedge we broke out, and now we're going to see. But this is a little bit more on the shorter time frame. Let's see what else he has. All right. I think, that's most of it for the market right now. Of course, I could go on and show different altcoins, but wanted to keep this video somewhat short, give you a full overview, more on the higher time frames to see what's up right now. All right. So that's it for this one. Support the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what altcoin picks you have. If you're also bullish on the market, let me know what altcoins are going to be outperforming. Something else that's very interesting to watch now when we had a bounce, you want to be looking at the ones that are bouncing the hardest. They're usually the ones that will continue the good recovery if the market recovered. So we had a few outliers there, of course. We saw Sui, we saw Pengu had a nice bounce. Of course, they dumped very hard, but Sui is one I think was dumped too hard. It's very good ecosystem, and it went all the way down to 130. But it was nice buying opportunities if you had money left. All right, have a good one. Good evening, everybody, and talk to you in the next one.